She wants to know, where is Christmas gone? Why is that feeling not there anymore? We all have those times where we don't have that full home feeling. Hi friend, I'm Lauren Jean. I'm a thinker, babbler, lover of stories and founder of Thinking of Me. Welcome to our first season of Women Only Speakers, where we talk all things empowerment, success, relationships, and above all else, self. I hope you might find a new thread of thought as you listen. Hello, and happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, happy holidays, Feliz Navidad, Nula Chona to all our friends, far and near. This is Christmas Eve that this is out, and today is Sunday the 22nd, and that I'm recording this in December, and I'm going to be leaving the plant pot today to go down home. And friends, what I want to talk about to you listening today is what is home and a little bit about Christmas itself. As I say, I'm leaving the plant pot, and for anyone who doesn't know, the plant pot is the nickname I've called my little studio that I've lived in, and this is my 5th Christmas having the tree up and in this space. I'm here over 4 years now, and I know this is my last Christmas here, and I'm having all kinds of thoughts about 2025 and leaving here and the next chapter and what this chapter currently is, and the fact that we're even on a podcast as I'm talking to you. But home, when I was thinking about what I wanted to share today, home for Christmas, home, it's so cheesy, but it's so true that home is the feeling. You know, we chase home in terms of, especially here in Ireland at the minute, and I know anyone my age around the world, it's been harder and harder to find a way to access a home, to get 4 walls of a house, to plant yourself in as such and say, this is me, and all the saving and all the work and all the laws and all the everything that's in place. It's not about that. I'm not getting into that, even though we could for definite. But as we chase for home, something I've really learned as someone who never really found a stable home, and I'm really thinking about that even now with the plant pot move, is it's the feeling, as I say. And we chase that in the 4 walls, we chase that in a person. Sometimes we chase that in a certain place, and what home is in a country or whatever it might be. But home for Christmas starts with me, and with Thinking of Me, something I've learned since we launched, and it was 6 months ago on the 21st of June, since we officially launched into Thinking of Me coaching and starting to spread our message in a new way, in a bigger way, in a mission style way, that this is something that I really believe isn't going to go anywhere and is really only getting started. In all of that, I'm the only one who can be a home for me. And I want you to think about that. Are you your own home, and are you at home in you? Because the more we talk to our friends on here, and the more stories you share back with me in DMs and messages and all that kind of thing, the more clients we've been working with, the more I learn and see the same things that we all want. And there's people before me, and I'm so grateful for like mentors and all that kind of thing, who I've learned from, and I know you learn from in a bigger way than just from me. But I share this with you so that I can teach you, tell you, show you a story of some of the things that took me a long time. So with that, there's a story of home that I love, and I hope this might make sense in what I'm getting at with this. There's a story my granny always tells. Now, my gran is in hospital at the minute, and I don't fully know what Christmas is going to look like. And it's quite apt, because I don't fully know what 2025 is going to look like. So for anyone who doesn't fully know what today holds or tomorrow holds or next year, I feel you there, and maybe this might land a small bit. So Gan's in hospital, as I say, at the minute, but she tells the story every year or used to when we were little, about the time that Santi came to Fohelstown. Now, Fohelstown is where I'm from. It's in northwest Meath. It's out there at the shore of the lake, Loch Derivara. And maybe if you've little people, you could tell them this too, because it was Christmas Eve and Santi came to Fohelstown. And not only did he come, his sleigh broke down, and it broke down on the hill on the Boreen on the way down to the lake. And Santi didn't know what he was going to do. So Blocker, who's my granny's dad, that was his nickname, Blocker met Santi because he heard the commotion and he went out to see what was happening. And he said, well, what can I do to help? So Blocker brought the reindeer in and fed them and gave Santi his cup of tea and everything else and helped him get the sleigh up and going again. And to this day, you can see the mark on the Boreen. It's a big indent of where the sleigh's, I don't even know the word, the sleigh's grooves, I suppose, cut into the ground in its clatter down. And to say thanks, Santi gave Blocker a shirt, a brand new shirt for Christmas Day. And when Blocker told my granny and her three sisters that story the next morning, they couldn't believe it, and they'd never seen their dad in a shirt like that, and knew that when you do something for somebody and knew that, you know, with Santi and gifts and all things meaning at Christmas, that there's something bright and magic about that. Now, I can't tell that story the way my Gan tells it. I try. She's the best storyteller I'll ever know. And maybe over the Christmas we might see about getting some of those stories of hers on here. But we'll come to that. The message as such behind it is, when you're little and you see the truths behind these stories, you see the mark in the Boreen, and you know the shirt that's there, that's brand new, that's a gift that's beyond imagination of something that you could get back, that's maybe above you or a level ahead. I gifted my mum a trip to Rome last Christmas because it's somewhere she's always wanted to go, and I knew the magic and meaning that would bring for all of us, and having that time with my sister as well. And the three of us was the first time in literally 10 years that we were all in the same room for that kind of time and doing that kind of thing together. When you find the little meanings behind the story, that's where the magic lies. And that home feeling that brings. And maybe if you wanted to think about one of your favourite Christmas stories, or one of the special things that happened when you were little, no matter how old you are now, Santi doesn't visit our house anymore, but he does visit Fohelstown still. And I know that when he comes to our house again, that he'll have been given presents every year to our neighbours, and he'll have known my great-granddad in a time before me. So what does Santi know about you already? I'm going down this road, my friend, because we all want someone to know our story. We all want someone to share that with. And we all want to come home to that. And at Christmas time, when there's so many people and there's so many things happening, and maybe there's presents, maybe there's some stress, and there's definitely a financial push, what are you coming home to share? About a story or about you? The other thing I really wanted to talk about is the idea of being chosen. Now, bear with me, anyone who's not a Harry Potter friend, for a second. Harry was the chosen one, okay, after Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince. What does the chosen one mean and all that kind of thing? Now, without analysing the whole entire series, what does it mean to be chosen and whether or not you want to be chosen? We are all big kids. I'm a big kid. And as a big kid, you get excited about things. But as a kid and as a child and as someone who just wants to play, we also want to be safe. And there's a lot to give at this time of year to each other and to kids that fill that excitement, fill that play. But where do we also fill that safe so that they can enjoy it? And I mean us too. I'm 29. I'm no kid, as they say. Santa doesn't come anymore. But we still want a sense of play. We still want a sense of fun, a sense of excitement in some way. And sometimes that looks like peace and calm. And where there's chaos, we have a responsibility to not bring more chaos. I would have always been used to a level of chaotic Christmases. That's a lie. I would have always been used to chaotic homes. But at Christmas, you'd be kind of sure that it wouldn't be, because it was Christmas, so there was no rows at Christmas. So what do you do when you're not used to calm and there's normally chaos and there's normally all kinds of everything happening? We repeatedly do the things that we think are normal, even if they're not. So the point is I know where I create chaos because I haven't been used to the calm. And every day for the last year and more, I remind myself that it is my responsibility, that I will, what is of me to bring home is to create, not destroy. So in creating a home in me, it makes it easier to share that then and hold that space. If this is landing at all, it's not our past that defines us. Our past only equals our future if we live there. With an uncertain Christmas maybe, with an uncertain 2025, or with an uncertain home, there's one thing that I'm really certain of, and through thinking of me, I know who I am and what my values are and what I want to share and the kind of home I am creating. And as I've shared before, none of that means anything. None of the work, none of the thinking of me, none of doing your hair, none of buying the presents, none of going out and about on a night out. None of that matters unless you have a family there with you. You have your friends there with you. So, my friend, listening, if it's a lonely Christmas, maybe it's a chance to build. If it's a Christmas where there's someone missing, maybe it's a chance to hold space. If it's a Christmas where there's a loss, maybe it's a chance to remember. And if it's a Christmas of Santa and excitement and play, maybe it's a chance to share that story with someone else. Christmas is something that every year comes and goes. But Christmas is something deeper in the everyday. And I don't want to get too religious on this, but there's a message behind someone coming to pave the way for us. There's a message behind someone being born to heal the world. there's a message behind what it means to forgive and to accept and to serve and give more than you've ever gotten. Cindy Lou Who in The Grinch, in her song, and she's a little girl who just wants to know, is there something more? She wants to know, where is Christmas gone? Why is that feeling not there anymore? We all have those times where we don't have that full home feeling. And what did she go and do? She went and she brought Christmas to somebody who wasn't feeling Christmas anymore and hasn't had Christmas and was the exact opposite of Christmas. It was the Grinch, guys. Okay. She went and she gave more than she was like wanting to get back. She wasn't looking for anything and going and doing that. So when you're maybe reluctantly chosen or chosen nonetheless, or you are giving, all of you and more of you, don't forget about big kids who maybe just want to be seen, who maybe just want to be heard, and maybe just need a little bit more in than what they can keep putting out. Be that one to make someone's heart go 3 sizes bigger, just by being you, even if you're not fully sure the full meaning behind it right now. I know I've had Christmases past that are like Scrooge and thinking about all the things done wrong. I know I've had Christmases past of like the car, the Clio, full of presents. I remember the Toyota, I remember the Ford, full of mince pies and presents, and going around like Santa Claus. And I very much see Christmas present of how humble it really is right now. But humble doesn't mean empty. In fact, I actually think I'm looking more forward to Christmas this year, even though everything is so uncertain, than I have in a long time. And I mean that. I actually mean that from the sense of, I don't care about the presents. I don't care about whether or not the table is set right. I don't care about who's there. I don't care about the time, the agenda for the day. All of that doesn't matter. What actually matters is actually just being at home and feeling the most at home I've felt in a long time. So with that, go and give someone a hug, go and send a message, and remember that the more you create your home in you, the more there is to share, even if you've nothing to share except yourself. That's really my only message. If you've nothing else to share, share yourself, share your stories, and make sure you leave out the milk for Santy, because he knows your story, and he knows the stories from before you as well. Merry Christmas, friend. Talk soon. Thanks, friend, for listening to the Thinking of Me podcast. I hope you found something within our story today that lands for you. You can keep up with us on Thinking of Me blog, Thinking of Me coaching, and Lauren Jean on socials. Go to thinkingofmecoaching.com/checklist for your checklist for self-fulfillment. Until our next chat, talk soon, my friend.